Okay, so let's start with your name.
Okay, let's start it. I'm Hunter Wilson.
Where are you from, Hunter?
I grew up in Utah. Now I live in Dallas.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. What part of Utah?
I grew up in northern Utah, like Clinton area, near Ogden.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you or are you not a door-to-door sales phenom?
I am a door-to-door sales phenom.
And why are you a door-to-door sales phenom?
Well, we just started our first business. I own a window company based out of Dallas. We've got 8 locations now. We started in July of 2024. And last year is our first calendar year. We did just under 15 million in sales. So it's pretty exciting.
Amazing
stuff. Yeah.
How did you find, actually, let's start with how big is your staff now, your sales staff?
Yeah, we're at about 90 sales guys and 30 installers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you recruit most of them?
I did actually, yeah.
Do you prefer to model and demonstrate to people how to sell, or do you prefer to get them in kind of like, what do you say, feet in the fire, both feet in the fire, something like that?
I actually tend to be like a sell the dream. Like I think there's a lot of young guys in America now that don't believe they'll ever own a home or that they'll ever accomplish enough, or that, you know, I'm a big, like, my wife loves to be a stay-at-home mom. And so a lot of guys don't feel like they can accomplish that. And I've found that this vehicle has been life-changing. And so it's really easy for me to want to go change other people's lives.
Wonderful.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
what would you define phenom for me to the best of your ability?
I think that a lot of people look at people's outcomes. They look at the outcomes of successful people, and whether they understand how much sacrifice went into that or not, there's a level of luck that they think is involved. But I think that anytime someone can plug in and really devote themselves to something, they can become phenomenal or a phenom in that. And so I think for most people, you can look at where they're at and what their results are, and you can kind of determine how much effort they put in to get there. And so I think a lot of time results speak for themselves.
Ryan there was just about to tell you what phenom means when you can kind of extrapolate phenomenal.
Sure.
If you ever look up the definition, it's kind of interesting, but most people also associate it with young age, early, and they come onto a scene and explode out of nowhere.
Oh, wow.
Would you say that's kind of how it worked for you in the door-to-door space? You were younger, jumped in.
Yeah.
Did well?
I would say in the most humble way possible, I was lucky in the sense that I plugged into the right systems and put all my effort into it.
Yeah.
My opinion on luck is that it doesn't exist. What it is it's the preparation meeting an opportunity.
Yep.
And so I was prepared for it, and I took that thing by the horns and went with it as far as I could.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
A lot of door-to-door guys I've noticed often don't understand what they're doing for themselves, what they're doing for their team.
Okay.
And the sense of income.
Okay.
Right? So just kind of talking general economic numbers, do you know what the average household income is for the U.S.?
What the number what?
Average household income is for the U.S.?
Dude, I heard that it's like 70 grand combined income, but I don't know.
Wonderful.
Is that close?
Damn close.
What is it?
So I'd say somewhere between 70 and 80, depending on what research you're looking at.
Okay.
Most I've seen say 74,000.
Okay.
And that's a combined household income. Best year selling door to door, how much did you earn?
Yeah, a little under 400.
Okay. And why is everybody not doing door to door?
I think that in order to accomplish results other people cannot accomplish, you have to go do something people aren't willing to do.
Yeah.
And so I believe in free market economy. I think that if you can provide enough value, that value will enter your own pockets.
Yeah.
And so, I went from, and that was actually super fast for me. I actually had a really bad first intro to door. I sold pest control, and I had the wrong leadership, the wrong system, and the wrong mindset about it. And I didn't do well at all. And I said, I'll never do door again. I'm out. Like, that was not it for me. And so I wasn't some phenom my first summer. I failed.
Yeah, we're talking
hard.
about age.
Like ate the dirt and said no more.
Okay.
Sold cars for a little bit. And I didn't love the environment, but I loved the process of closing and understanding how that worked. And I really blossomed there. I was 21 when I was selling cars.
Yeah.
My story into Windows is hilarious. I met a guy at a pool party who had just started Windows, and I wanted more car sales reps. We had an incentive to come get sales reps to come sell cars.
Yeah.
And he had an incentive from his door-to-door window company to get more sales reps selling windows. And I was like, you can sell windows? That's crazy. There's no way. And so we made a bet. And the bet was whoever makes more money this month, the other person has to come try their job.
Yeah.
I'm in Windows now, so you know how that went, obviously.
Awesome.
But my best month selling cars, I was good. I wasn't great, but I sold 50 hours a week. I had to be there when customers were there.
Mhm.
And I made probably my best month, $12,000 or $13,000, which I thought was fantastic at 21 single,
It is.
It is phenomenal money.
Speaking,
and I was grinding, dude. But my first month, so my first week selling windows, I realized how much I actually enjoyed it.
Yep.
As opposed to what I had previously done door to door.
Yeah.
And my first week I made like $4,000. And I was like, okay, that's actually crazy because I didn't work nearly as many hours and I actually had way more fun.
Yeah.
And my first month selling windows, I made like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
And then from then on, I was just like, I'm never looking back.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you enjoy showing people what it can do for them as much as anything.
It was unreal. I literally could not believe it. So
I'm still doing that today.
I'm still doing it today.
My own company now.
Yeah.
Got the right system in place.
Yep.
Right
I accomplished
right
a lot working for other people and I saw flaws in leadership and culture. And I worked for places that I felt like I was going downhill as a person with the values that I live by.
Yeah.
And so I switched and I worked for another place that was awesome for a long time, but struggled with those same things. And I actually interviewed with 4 competitors in a row to see if it was an environment where I felt like I could be. I'm a very God-fearing man.
Yeah.
And like, I wanted to be in a place where I felt like my spirit was also increasing and I couldn't find one. And so that actually the only reason I started my business was to answer that question and to be a place where people actually become better people as they progress. So like they don't get a bigger ego because they make more money, right? They have a bigger influence because they make more money. So that's like my whole philosophy on why I started my own business is because I didn't see that anywhere.
It's interesting. When I did door to door, I would have been 10, 6, would have been 19 years ago now. And I feel like you're the second phenom I've talked to now. And the tone is so different, I feel like, with the two of you that I've talked to compared to what I kind of imagined, felt, experienced that high-performing door-to-door guys were like back then. But it's interesting for the first two of you that I've talked to that talking about others seems to be the main thing more so than earning potential. But earning potential is like the status quo when I first got into it, right?
Sure.
It was just
that.
And
a lot of companies, to be fair, have had fantastic influences on people. Like I really admire the companies I compete against now because they've produced some of the highest performers, the best trainers, the best sales guys. The biggest issue that I have is that I also see a lot of that ego come into play. And I mean, in a biblical sense, like what are we compared to God? We're of the dust of the earth. You know what I'm saying? So like, why does money make me better than anyone else? I just see money as a way to alleviate suffering. And so for me, it's like, how can I have the best influence possible and also help people reach the spirit, wonderful that Jesus intends for us to have?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's my philosophy on everything.
Oh man. So what advice would you give somebody that say they were looking at the door-to-door space or sales and they're like, okay, I'm making 40, 50,000 a year. I'd like to make 150,000 a year, $200,000 a year. If people just want to do that, is want enough? And what would you tell that person? Let's pretend, obviously, you'd probably pick them out and put them in a certain personality type or class and say, you're a good fit or a bad fit for it.
Sure.
But what type of advice would you give somebody that just wanted to earn more for themselves outside of classic education?
Yeah, I think there's twofold there. Like you can kind of go a couple different directions, but your belief systems will determine what you can accomplish. And so if you've got limiting beliefs about what you can do in any aspect, whether that's dating, income, accomplishment in life, positive impact, like I've been talking about.
Yep.
I think your belief system is the most important thing. And I actually don't think that door-to-door is unique in creating millionaires because the job itself is so valuable. I think there's a ton of value. I actually think the reason door-to-door creates so many millionaires and billionaires and just high-level people is because the environment is high level. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Like I think because the environment is high level and the job is hard, you get people who get good at enjoying doing hard things, and therefore they make that income.
Yeah, I think a lot of people miss this, and it shouldn't be misinterpreted because the event is door-to-door Kong.
Yeah,
But ultimately, door-to-door is a marketing strategy or a sales channel.
It is.
Right? And sometimes it's hard to remember that, and that there are other ways to build.
There absolutely is.
Yeah, but it's interesting that it is probably the one sales channel or marketing strategy that you could deploy that somebody can actually change their life significantly forever.
Well, and like, what's my resume, dude? Like, there's no reason that, and this is long before I started my business. I should have been making what doctors make or more in a lot of cases with the resume I had. Like in high school, I flipped freaking quesadillas on a stove. I was a carpenter building houses. I went and served an LDS mission for 2 years. And then I came back and I was a plumber for like 6 months. And then I went and did that first summer of sales and sucked at it and said I would never do it again. Yeah. It's like, what's my resume? Like I have a high school degree and a couple odd jobs that I've done. Like I don't have this, you should be making a doctor's salary, right? Yeah. What I had is I had grit and determination and I had belief and I was able to change my capabilities through that belief system and just work hard. And then I plugged into a vehicle, which door-to-door absolutely is, that could take that amount of grit and determination and create that free market value that paid me $400,000 in 9 months. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Free market value is kind of a cool concept you're talking about. I try to, when I talk to people that aren't proponents of door-to-door, but understand what type of earning potential is there, they often go straight to people earning too much. But what I've tried to touch on as much as I possibly can is like, listen, you spend so much time getting a bachelor's degree, then you go on to get a master's degree, and then maybe you go on to get a PhD or you become a medical doctor of sorts. Yeah. And there's a whole lot of dead bodies alongside that journey to get there. And then you still end up encountering high variability on income.
You absolutely do.
And I have never looked at the numbers or seen anybody that's actually tried to quantify it. But I bet you'd actually have more success getting the earning potential you would want out of doing something like door-to-door as opposed to sticking to a classic education, going down that long career path. Yeah. Feeling good about everything you would do. Yeah. I love education. I prefer learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Learn. But like, it's always just blown my mind that people can't see that the effort is still there. But I feel like it's like an expedited learning path, right? Yeah. Pain can be quick. The failure can be quick. But as long as you keep picking yourself up, you come back bigger and stronger every time. And you could do what most people do in 8 or 10 years in 2 or 3.
You can. And that's like a real world example of that is when I was plumbing, I was doing it with my uncle. You know, he owned his own business. It was a really good experience. And he had me go attend a class just so that I wasn't incompetent trying to help him or making mistakes. And in that class, they're like, when you weld a copper pipe, it's this and the flux and the solder and you need to, and I was like watching it. And then the first time I go to do it, I don't know what I'm doing. He does it once with me and then I'm good. So like, what was more effective, the class or actually doing it? Right. Yeah. And that's just a real world example. It's the same thing with door-to-door. It's what's more effective at teaching you how to talk to people, taking classes on how to talk to a human being or just going and talking to human beings.
Right.
You know,
100%.
So
100%.
Yeah.
Well, Hunter, I'm trying to keep these to 15 minutes.
I like it.
I'm going to call it. Thanks for talking about your highest earning year and some of that.
The highest earning year in the sales.
In the sales side, it's hard for people to understand that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it exists. The opportunity's there.
Yeah. Anybody and if I could give like a final note.
Yes. Yeah. No.
Here's what I would say is, you don't have to necessarily say you're starting from humble beginnings. If you're already talented at talking to people, don't downplay that. But if you don't feel like you are, this is a fantastic vehicle to get you there. I actually didn't feel like I was. So like, I'm not someone who in high school, you probably would have said, oh, he would kill at door-to-door. Like he's the guy that all the guys want to go recruit. I probably wasn't the ideal candidate for that, but grit, determination, and a high belief system is what can get you there. So you don't have to feel like this is something that is going to be the best for you before doing it. Just go do it. And then when it's hard, understand you're growing. My favorite quote my dad taught me is there's no comfort in the growth zone and there's no growth in the comfort zone. So if you're comfortable in life right now, like go get uncomfortable. And that's like my final thought.
Do you want to drop your contact information, cell phone number, email, stuff like that, so people can reach out to you if they're curious about how to get started?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Instagram. You can look up Hunter Wilson. You can look up VW Elite for Vantage Windows. That's my business. We post a lot of the highlights of some of my sales guys there. And yeah, feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Thank you, Hunter. That was awesome, dude.
Thanks, dude.
That is awesome.
Yeah.